So hi people, welcome back to my YouTube channel again. I'm Nakato Farida, and this is a channel where I cover practical monitoring and evaluation and project management and planning. So today in our next video, I'm going to handle a topic which has been asked by so many of you. So kindly tune in, like, share, and also subscribe to the channel, and and share with your colleagues who are interested to learn more about this topic. That is very interesting. That is the monitoring and evaluation framework. We're going to learn how we can come up with the monitoring and evaluation framework for our M&E in our organizations or a project. So quickly, what is a monitoring and evaluation framework? An M&E framework is a document that articulates the purpose, scope, structure, and guidelines for conducting monitoring and evaluation. It outlines the plan for monitoring in concrete steps and also provides information regarding who, what, where, and when. A comprehensive monitoring and evaluation framework captures activities that are to be conducted at every stage, as well as the expected results. So for you to come up with a comprehensive monitoring and evaluation framework, you need to capture all the activities that will be conducted at every step, as well as the exact expected results. So why the monitoring and evaluation framework? The M&E framework operationalizes the main elements of the monitoring and evaluation system, which I covered. So just click on the videos. Earlier videos I covered the monitoring and evaluation system. How to develop a monitoring and evaluation system. I have a video on that, so kindly go and check it out and learn more on how to develop a monitoring and evaluation system. Also, in case you need any consultancies and more teaching, I do teach monitoring and evaluation, just a short course. So if you need more, just kindly reach out to me and inbox me. I'll leave the link in the description box. If you need to study more about M&E and understand it thoroughly, you can reach out to me. It's also a practical tool to manage the monitoring and evaluation process. So here you're operationalizing, as I said, the monitoring and evaluation system, which you covered in 10/12 steps. Developing a system. So this is a practical tool on how you're going to actually manage the monitoring and evaluation process of a project or your organization. It helps you clarify the project targets at the different levels. It helps you clearly define the information needs to inform the different indicators. It helps you determine at what times the M&E related activities should be undertaken, and it also clarifies the distribution of roles and responsibilities within the monitoring and evaluation system. So this is a brief actually, which is summarizing, which is the M&E framework. So how do we develop the monitoring and evaluation framework? One, you have to identify the expected results at the different levels of a project hierarchy. I covered the hierarchy also in my earlier videos on the monitoring and evaluation system. So kindly go check them out. Like and share the videos, and also subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel grow. So kindly share the content. These hierarchical results come from the logical framework matrix or the intervention logic, which I'll cover in my next videos. But I also covered a bit about it in the video of the M&E system, so kindly check it out. So after you've identified the expected results, to revisit the suggested indicators and verify whether they answer the key questions of your result-based monitoring and evaluation system. So these key indicators, we cover them. You cover them in your monitoring when you're developing your monitoring and evaluation system. Also, you come up with them when you're at the initial planning of the project. These indicators are always identified and come up with. So you revisit those indicators to see if they answer the good questions of your system. Then step number 3, operationalize the selected indicators to identify information categories. Yeah, after you revisit and you've selected those indicators to be included in regards to the hierarchy of the results, then you identify the information needs or categories. Yeah, to be able to inform on what data will be collected on these indicators. Then after you've identified the information needs, how will you define this indicator? You identify the baseline values of benchmarks. For example, an indicator can be, I'm going to look at it in an example which I have below. Maybe your project is to install 40 water harvesting tanks in 40 schools in Wakiso, and then the indicator can be like maybe 40. That is an output indicator. 40 water harvesting tanks installed in 40 schools in Wakiso. Yeah, so the baseline value can be like 0 for like the 0 harvesting tanks in these 40 schools. So it'll be the target will be installing 40 tanks. Yeah, this is all coming from the M&E system and the indicators you set out to earlier in your project's planning. Yeah. Then you outline the procedures and methods for data collection and analysis. Yeah, and data sources and frequency. You outline how will you be collecting data, what will be the frequency. Is it quarterly, annually, or biannually? Yeah, is it monthly? What data methods will you be using? Are they questionnaires? Are they all these feeding into your indicators from the hierarchy. Yeah, from the project hierarchy. Then after you've outlined your methods of data collection and frequencies, then you designate the persons responsible for the monitoring and evaluation activities. Like who will be responsible? If it's monitoring every quarter, who will be responsible? Is it the male person? Is it the project officer? Is it, you designate, you assign who will be responsible. So below I have a sample framework matrix where we have the hierarchy of results, which is the goals, the outcomes, and the outputs. As I said, you define the indicators earlier mentioned. The indicator from the project source document or from the ones you developed when you're designing your monitoring and evaluation system, you put them there according to the hierarchy, the goals, the outcome indicators, and the output indicators. Then you define the indicator as in how will this indicator be calculated. How will it be calculated? You indicate then the baseline result. Is it 0? Is it, as I gave an example, the harvesting tanks, if they are targeting 40, then maybe starting from 0 that the schools have no harvesting tanks. So you indicate your target. Then the data sources, you indicate how will this may be measured. Will you go to interview these people? Then you interview them. You can put interview. How often you can do maybe quarterly. Who will be responsible? Who will measure it? Can be the monitoring and evaluation officer. And when will reporting be done? You indicate that maybe it will be done by the end of every quarter or biannually. These all according to the hierarchy of results. So in here I have a brief example of the monitoring and evaluation framework where I have the goal, which is percentage of grade 6 primary students continuing on to high school. The definition here of this indicator is the number of, here you're defining how you're actually going to calculate this indicator. Number of students who start first grade of grade 7 divided by the total numbers of grade 6 students in the previous year multiplied by 100. So the baseline basing on this project is 50%. Maybe they're starting from 50%, and that target is a target increment of 60%, which is 10% higher. Yeah, the data source is primary and high school enrollment records, and this will be done annually, the frequency of monitoring these enrollment records. And who will be responsible? They've indicated their program manager, and where will the reporting be reported? In the annual enrollment report. Then the outcome, they have reading proficiency among children in grade 6. Yeah, and the definition of this outcome indicator is sum of all reading proficiency test scores for all students in grade 6. Here they're just defining the indicator divided by the total number of students in grade 6. Yeah, so their baseline value, these you have to keep in mind that the baseline values, you can get them from either how the previous project worked, if it's a phase or continual project. Yeah, you can get them from the previous project documents or source documents. You can actually do a survey to understand, where am I starting from on this project? Is it a school project? Is it a roads project? Is it any project? Is it a health project? You're establishing hospital facilities. How many are there in this district? So you get that information gathered from either the project documents, some source documents you may need, previous experiences from people who have handled the projects. Yeah, these are targets and baselines have to be very realistic, also based on what others have achieved. So you have to set them and when you are very realistic, that you're able to achieve that target, and also understand that this is where actually the project is starting from, and this is where I'm starting from. So here they're giving their average score of 47, that's where maybe they're starting from, and the target is 57, still a 10% increment. The data source are indicating the reading proficiency tests using the National Assessment Tool, and this will be done every 6 months. Who will be responsible? The teachers, and this feeds into the 6 monthly teacher reports. Then the outputs are the number of students who completed summer camp and number of parents, and in there they indicated how they will define this indicator. Yeah, how will it be calculated? Yeah, the total number of students who are present on both the first and last day of summer camp, and the total number of parents who answered yes. Yeah, baseline values, the 0 who have completed so far, and the target, they are targeting 500. Data sources are summer camp attendance records. Yeah, every end of year, every end of camp, the frequency, and personal response for teachers, and this will be fed into the camp review report. Yeah, still the number of parents who answered yes to the question, did you hope your child read at home? Yeah, the baseline value is maybe from their surveys, is we found that there are so far none who are hoping their children in the homework at home, and the target is 500 parents. Data source is survey of parents. Every end of camp, they will do this survey, and who will be responsible program officer, and this will be fed into the survey report. So this is a summary of the monitoring and evaluation framework and an example. Also, when you design this, all these outputs and outcomes, when you're developing your activities, I have to shoot into this so that you know that this activity is actually going to be able to contribute to achieving this outcome and output. You have to keep that in mind. And yes, so finally, our checklist for peer review of the monitoring and evaluation framework. You have to see are the indicators appropriate for the program goals or projects or objectives. Yeah, and outputs. Are the indicators and units of measure consistent? Are they consistent over time? Yeah, based on from your previous experience in the project. Others, are they consistent? The data sources, do these data sources and I'm indicating to get this data from actually exist? You have to verify that. Do the data source include the data you need for the indicator? Because you want to avoid collecting garbage data which may not contribute to the indicator you've set out. So you have to also be very clear and specific and realistic on the data source. what is the cost or practicality of using this data source. You also have to keep that in mind. Is the cost favorable for this data source? If it's a survey, is it do I have a budget for it? If the reports will have a budget for it, yeah. If there are interviews for any data source, you have to keep that in mind when you're setting your data source. Then the frequency, that the frequency and timing of the reporting meet the stakeholder needs. Yeah, your stakeholders may include the project beneficiaries, the donors, or any other, or your partners. So when you're setting your frequency for monitoring, does it really shoot into meeting your stakeholders' needs? That if it's annually, I'll be having to report annually. If I indicate a quarterly frequency for collecting or evaluating this the data on the indicators, does it shoot into me when I have to report annually to these stakeholders? Yeah, you have to keep that in mind. That if I do my evaluation maybe at every quarter, yeah, maybe before every end of the quarter, when I have to report on a quarterly basis, then I have the data and information to draft those reports and report to these stakeholders quarterly. Yeah, you have to keep that in mind. And is a person or organization unit listed under the responsible party the most appropriate one? Yeah, is that person the most appropriate one? I said can be a survey and you're putting maybe a community officer. Is he or she the most appropriate one? You have to think of that in relation to the activities that you hope to undertake, that the persons you put are actually key and responsible and the appropriate for these outputs and activities attaining to achieve the outputs. So that's it today about the monitoring and evaluation framework. I remind you please to like and share my videos and subscribe. Kindly hit the red button below the subscribe button. Road to 200. Kindly helps me grow my channel. So subscribe and share and like. Yeah, and if you have any comments about how you do your monitoring and evaluation framework, kindly put them in the comment section below. Yeah, share with us and share with me. Yeah, it's a learning platform. Thank you very much. I'm Farida, as always. Thank you.